In the quiet glow of a winter morning, when snowflakes slid silently down the tall windows of the Kensington penthouse, Emma stood frozen, trying to understand what had just happened. The world around her felt unreal, like time had paused, like the cold air stopped mid-breath, because the little girl in her arms, a child who had never spoken a single word in her life, had just whispered something that shattered every boundary Emma had placed around her heart. It was soft, fragile, trembling, but unmistakable. The word she had dreamed of hearing, feared hearing, and prayed she would never hear because it could only break her in ways she wasn't ready to admit. Mommy. And in that single word, Emma realized that leaving today, the last day of her one-year contract, was going to be more painful than anything she had ever endured. Sparkles before the story continues. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and life-changing moments, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Thread. It truly helps us bring more meaningful stories your way. Sparkles. Emma had arrived at the Walker residence exactly 1 year earlier, desperate for a job, terrified of failing, and unsure of her place in the world. After losing her own mother, her life had spiraled into loneliness and quiet grief, and she had thrown herself into work simply to stay afloat. When Mr. Jonathan Walker, a man known more for his wealth than his warmth, offered her the position of live-in nanny for his daughter, she accepted without hesitation. She had no idea then how much that little girl would come to mean to her. Lily, the millionaire's daughter, was 4 years old, bright-eyed, and beautiful, with curls the color of warm honey and eyes that carried galaxies of innocence. Born deaf, she lived in a world without spoken sound. But Emma quickly learned that Lily heard with her heart, through touch, through expression, through connection. At first, Lily resisted her. She pushed away, hid behind doors, avoided eye contact, and refused to sign. She had grown used to silence, but she had also grown used to walls. Emma understood that. She had walls too. Slowly, patiently, day by day, Emma made her way into the child's world. She learned sign language, drew pictures with her, danced with her in the living room while snow fell outside, and held her whenever nightmares made her tiny shoulders shake. Lily learned to trust her in ways she trusted no one else, not even her own father, who loved her deeply but had buried himself in work and guilt after Lily's mother passed away. The mansion changed because of Emma. Rooms that were once silent and orderly filled with warmth, crayons, little socks scattered everywhere, and the lingering scent of cinnamon pancakes. And with every passing week, Emma felt her heart stitching itself back together, though she never admitted it. Not even to herself. But the contract was always there. 1 year only. No extensions. No attachments. The rules set by Mr. Walker's lawyers were strict and clear. Emma pretended it didn't bother her. Pretended she was strong enough to walk away. Pretended that she wouldn't shatter when the time came. Until now, on Christmas Eve, when Lily changed everything with a single word. The morning rushed forward with a heavy ache. Emma held Lily tightly, burying her face into the child's soft hair while whispers of warmth tugged at her chest. She kissed Lily's forehead, pretending the word hadn't cut deeply into her soul. Across the room, Mr. Walker stood stunned, holding a letter in his trembling hands, the letter Emma had written to say goodbye since talking about it felt too painful. The Christmas tree glowed behind him, its ornaments reflecting colors across the glass walls. But nothing in the room shined as brightly as his shock. Because he, too, understood the meaning behind Lily's first spoken word. It wasn't just a miracle. It was Lily choosing someone. Someone who wasn't supposed to stay. Emma gently pulled away from the child, though it felt like ripping herself apart. She walked to the window, trying to steady her breathing while snow fell like feathers outside. Her mind spiraled through every memory, Lily taking her first steps toward her, Lily falling asleep on her chest, Lily learning her first sign from her hands. She had been more than a nanny. She had been a guide, a protector, a safe place. And Lily had been the one light Emma didn't know she needed. Mr. Walker approached her slowly, his voice soft, one of the rare times he wasn't commanding or distant. He told her he didn't want her to leave, that he could rewrite the contract, that Lily needed her. But Emma shook her head, not because she didn't want to stay, but because she was afraid to hope. Afraid that she wasn't enough. Afraid she'd fail this little girl who had just given her the most precious gift. The afternoon drifted by with heavy hearts. Emma packed her suitcase while Lily followed her everywhere, holding her sleeve, tugging gently, signing small questions Emma couldn't answer without crying. The truth was simple, Lily didn't understand abandonment. She didn't understand contracts. She only understood love. And Emma, despite every rule, loved her. But as evening approached, something changed inside Emma. She watched Lily sitting by the Christmas tree, holding the little wooden angel ornament they made together last week, her small hands tracing its wings as tears slipped down her cheeks silently. In that moment, Emma knew she couldn't leave, not like this. Not when this child finally spoke because of her. Not when Lily had found her voice through love. Emma knelt and gathered Lily in her arms, holding her close as the ache inside her heart softened into something warm and unwavering. And that's when Mr. Walker re-entered the room, not as a businessman, not as a millionaire, but as a father. He told Emma that Lily had never reacted to anyone like this before and that maybe some bonds weren't meant to be broken. He asked her to stay, not out of obligation, but because she was now family. The moment felt like a quiet miracle. Snow continued falling softly, the lights of the city flickering like 1,000 tiny blessings. And for the first time in years, Emma felt like she belonged somewhere. Sparkles, if this story touched your heart even a little, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Thread. It truly encourages us to create more meaningful stories for you. Sparkles. Before we end. Speech balloon special request, comment below, what was the most emotional moment for you in this story?
Buonanotte.
Buonanotte.
¿Todo bien?
¿Todo tranca?
Sí, por suerte. ¿Cómo andan?
Todo chill. Por suerte todo chill.
Boca quedó en Sudamericana.
No vi
Así-
nada, boludo.
No, te comento.
Quedó
Así que
adentro.
¿Eh?
Porque quedó adentro.
No, mira, te explico, estaba en la Libertadores, que es como la Copa 1,
Sí,
y Sudamericana es como Copa 2.
está bien.
Boca quedó tercero en la fase de grupos de la Libertadores, Copa 1, y el tercero va a la Copa 2,
Está bien.
a 16avos de la Copa 2.
O sea, Juan se mete un tiro.